if you listen to that, you can actually hear in the take the sound booth shaking from how loud the actor did the line.
Oh,
It's
God,
that you can
great.
hear the sound booth shaking in the take.
Bart!
It's okay, Marge, I'll get him.
Bart! What the heck's going on?
So far away, Lucas, and lovely audience at home, same question. What is your favourite Godzilla moment? You're right. Because for context, Lucy's not very well today. So I saw in the corner of my eye, as I was doing my intro, I saw Lucas go.
Yeah.
You just looked like you were about to pass out.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I can get through. I can power through like Godzilla would want me to.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my favourite moments is just... I can't remember what kaiju they're fighting, but when they use the atomic breath, like grabbing their mouth and just like screaming it into the other kaiju's mouth.
I think that's against the Mutos in the 2014 version, but it's something Godzilla does a lot. I also like when Godzilla just like flies using their atomic breath. But today, Lucas, we're talking about the original 1954 Godzilla movie, specifically the American version.
Oh, so this isn't the one with the giant dropkick in it?
It's not, no. But I'm obviously putting that clip in. Here it is. The original 1954 Godzilla movie is rightfully considered to be a classic of cinema, because it's really hard not to like a movie about a giant atomic salamander moonwalking his way across a city.
Unless the salamander happens to be Zilla instead.
Oh yeah, which I'm also putting the clip in of when the original Godzilla comes back in Godzilla Final War and kills Zilla. Have you seen that? Like they brought... Fun fact, the moment Toho got the rights back to Godzilla, the first thing they did is go, okay, press release, Zilla, the monster scene in like the crappy Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie, that's not Godzilla, that's a new species of kaiju. That sucks ass. Here's a movie where we kill it.
Yeah, just instantly the first thing they wanted to do is just kill that thing.
My favourite thing as well is that they play like Sum 41 in the background. And it's there for like 4 seconds. It's great. So when they start playing Sum 41 as if there's going to be like a cool fight scene, and Godzilla's like, punk! Straight into the Sydney Opera House. Bish bosh, job done. This is what atomic fire breath looks like, dipshit. Now, while the original Japanese release of Godzilla is considered to be the best version, we do have to give shout-outs to the American version, if only because they convinced an actor to stand in a studio for 24 hours and scream the entire time.
Wait, for 24 hours?
People might not even know that there's an American version of the 1954 Godzilla movie, and the way they went about making it's actually really interesting, because they basically did what they do today, when they're doing like reshoots with actors for Marvel movies and stuff, and just had the guy on a soundstage and then just cut him in.
Now he's making his way toward the city's main line of defense. 300,000 volts of electricity strung around the city as a barrier.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the guy I'm talking about is actor Raymond Burr, who's perhaps best known for playing Turbo lawyer Perry Mason. He also, according to my research, cultivated super rare mega orchids that would be worth the modern equivalent of tens of thousands of dollars, but we're not talking about that. But I did find that interesting that this famous actor who played a lawyer, Perry Mason, also bred, cultivated, and sold orchids and made a fortune doing so. And the character Mr. Burr played was Steve Martin, and the version of Godzilla he starred in, the Americanized version, was called Godzilla King of the Monsters. And that name fucking slaps. So much so that Toho, we're just taking that and putting our own movie. And today, what is Godzilla's title that people know him by?
King of Monsters,
The King of Monsters, right? And that came from the Americanized version.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters, alive, surging up from the depths of the sea on a tidal wave of terror.
I mean, at least they did one thing right to Godzilla.
Yeah. Oh, God, the 1998 version, man. He's so bad. Like, the fact that there's a story about the guy in the original Godzilla costumes walked out of a screen and went, that's not Godzilla. No, that guy would know he was inside Godzilla. And I am a big fan of those rare moments in, media history where someone takes an idea and does it better, and the original creator's like, why did we not think of that? Like, I think I think it's The Mist. The ending, I'm not going to put a clip in of, because, I don't want to destroy people's soul too much today, but if you've watched The Mist, you know the ending I'm talking about. Like, Stephen King apparently looked at that ending and went, that's better than what I wrote. And he was annoyed. It's like, that ending's way better than my book. It's the superior film. Same for, like, Fight Club. Like, the author of Fight Club thinks that the David Fincher version of the ending is way better. And they contend, like, it's just a better version of my story. I still get the money, though, so kick ass. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Right, and can you think of any other examples of that? 'Cause there's only a few, but they do happen. There's, like, a lot of songs where this has happened. I believe it's, like, 9 Inch Nails. Well, like, yeah, Johnny Cash, that's his song now.
Yeah.
Where he did his rendition of Hurt, I believe.
I'll tell you what, Karl, do you reckon the Disney executives, every time they watch a live-action version, like, oh yeah, that kicks so much more ass than the animated one, let's go.
But they look at that live-action Lion King movie and go, fucking nailed it. There is a couple of examples of something similar that I like as well. It's Kung Fu Panda. There's a report from, like, some Chinese filmmakers when Kung Fu Panda came out and did gangbusters in China of, like, why did we not think of this? Of pandas are our national animal and we invented Kung Fu. Why is it that it took an American to think of Kung Fu Panda and combine those two things together? But getting back to the 1954 Godzilla adaptation? I'm not sure what to describe it as. It's the same movie.
You know what?
They just added a white guy into it, and that's it.
It's fine, Karl. You know what they did? They did a Power Rangers.
Yeah, okay, that's probably a good example. Like, would you call Power Rangers an adaptation, or would you call it fucking awesome, whatever the fuck it is? Right?
It's not an adaptation, but it's cool.
You okay?
These guys are tough.
Let's finish these purple parasites.
You said.
And Lucas, that is a money comparison, and I'm annoyed I didn't think of it for my original article. So yeah, they Power Rangered it. And they just got this guy, Raymond Burr, and just filmed new scenes and just pretended that he was always there. And if you're thinking, but isn't Godzilla set in Japan? How did they edit a white dude in without anybody noticing? It's kind of ingenious, because what they do is they film a scene of him waking up in a hospital after having the majority of his arsehole stomped on by Godzilla.
Emiko.
Steve Martin. Are you badly hurt?
That is so lame.
But
just like, we just
worked.
put him in a hospital bed.
And if you're wondering, well, why did they even bother? The answer from executives was, we wanted to make the story more palatable to a Western audience, which is code for put some white people in there.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to a visit with an old college friend, Dr. Serizawa, a theoretical scientist who was gaining great recognition in the Far East for his unusual experiments.
But they didn't just have Burr lie in a hospital bed the entire time. They also needed to establish that he was there during the events of the original movie.
Okay, that's a little bit better then. I thought you literally meant the only scenes he was in was just in a hospital bed.
So they did edit him into the original footage, but this was filmed in America. And they couldn't find any Japanese actors, so they sent out producers to just grab any random Asian people they could. Brought them in.
I thought you would
put them in. What do you think I was going to say? Cause think about talking about 1950s Hollywood here. If your answer is, "Oh, well, they won't do that. That's too racist," you have no idea how racist 1950s Hollywood was.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you were going to say, so they just got some white people and make them look Asian.
They didn't go that far, but they did grab random Asian people, regardless of whether they were Japanese or not, and just had Burr talk to them and pretend they were characters from the original movie by dubbing in their dialogue.
Father, is he all right?
Yes. He's meeting with the security officials now.
And they dressed them in whatever like outfits they could find. They even went as far as grabbing people, dressing them up like soldiers and the like, even though the outfits weren't accurate, and have Burr stand behind them and be like, yes, Godzilla seems to be a problem. And Luke, if you're thinking, like, I'm making that up of him stood there going, yes, this Godzilla is a problem, here's a screenshot for the movie. Tell me what he's doing. Like, he's literally doing like the, yes, this could be a problem. This Godzilla we speak of.
it looks like he's been photoshopped in from a different scene.
But it's I think he looks so out of place, and as if that wasn't awkward enough. None of those extras spoke English, so they didn't know what they were doing.
Okay, it's like just stand here and look over there.
Yeah, well, admittedly, pretty cheap looking. I think it's still not bad for the time, right? 'Cause I didn't think they'd be able to do this with the technology they had at the time. I wouldn't think in the 1950s you could Power Rangers a movie and make it look like there's white people in it the entire time. So I think the effects in the Power Rangers are worse than this sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like when they suddenly cut from like, okay, here's like the Saved by the Bell ass looking footage we've got, cut to them like the footage of like the fight from the Japanese version of them in a random quarry that doesn't look like Angel Grove at all.
Alright guys, it's morphin' time. Mastodon!
Pterodactyl!
Triceratops!
Saber-tooth tiger!
Tyrannosaurus!
Power Rangers!
It's so good.
So with the technology they had available to them, I think they did pretty good. And the film did get pretty decent reviews, including one from the original director of the Japanese version. It was like, I kind of like it. I find it funny that Americans felt the need to Americanize a film that is paying, in part, homage to movies they made. But that just only added to its charm.
It's such a strange thing now, right? Because obviously, I think in modern times, it's a lot more just normalized to just watch things with subtitles, right?
Just put some subs on it, put some dubs on it.
Like, I don't think everyone is used to watching subtitled stuff. Like, there's some people still out there watching Squid Game in English for some reason.
Don't know why you would. Like, you lose a lot of the performance in there, but...
Oh, look at that. Forgot I had another one here. Not out yet.
People do.
Yeah, exactly.
But
right?
even that, the success of something like Squid Game, or I think it's Bong Joon-ho, right? When he won the Oscar for Parasite. And during his speech, one of my favourite quotes from a director is just him going on stage and saying, after people get over the literal inch-high hurdle of reading subtitles, you'll find many other movies out there you can enjoy. Or something to that effect.
You'll finally be able to enjoy One Piece in its true glory.
It's on the list, Lucas, but the list never stops growing. For context, Luke's been bugging me for how many years now?
I mean, I don't know, probably a good few years. Not bugging, but like, just, every now and then hey, Karl, remember, you need to watch One Piece.
Yeah, and then every time you say that, I look how many episodes there are and go, fucking hell, mate. You know I'm in the middle of my rewatch of Malcolm in the Middle, right?
It was not too bad until the point where you messaged me, like, oh yeah, started watching episode 1 and the subtitles are like not aligned correctly on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I tried watching it on Amazon Prime, and I'm not sure if this is fixed yet, but on Amazon Prime, all the subtitles for One Piece are 30 seconds behind the action.
Which I can understand why you didn't watch that, but within minutes, I'd already sent you my login details for Crunchyroll, and you're like, no, I've moved on now. It's like, oh, so close.
That initial mistake got me. It left such a sour taste in my mouth. It's like the Godzilla. But I do find it interesting that they even did this. I was not aware there was Americanized versions. I just always watched the original Japanese version with either subtitles, or there are dub versions out there and they're hilarious.
But, yeah, that's the thing, right, is... in my eyes, in my modern perspective, I would just say, well, why would you just not watch the original film with subtitles? But obviously, at least the thinking back then was that people would be completely unwilling to watch that movie. But yeah, it's fascinating, the full idea of, not remaking the movie, but thinking, what will be really easy to just put some white people in half of this film.
Just edit some white people in and we can watch it. You hit the nail on the head, Lucas. They Power Ranged it. I'm annoyed you came up with that example because it's so good. It's exactly what they did. And you did mention the idea of just completely remaking the movie. I fucking hate that. One of my favourite horror movies, we're recording this in October, it's spooky month. My favourite horror movie is Wreck. I think Wreck is a fantastic movie. It's a first-person horror movie filmed in Spain. All Spanish language actors.
¡Una mierda! Acabo de masacrar en la cabeza a un policía que trataba de mordernos, joder. ¡Se acabó! Cuéntenos ahora mismo todo lo que sepa. ¿Me ha entendido? Está bien.
Watch it with subtitles on. There is a dub version. I prefer the subtitle version because obviously you get the actor's natural performance. Mm-hmm. There is an American version called Quarantine. It is literally the exact same movie. To the point the person playing like the monster, they brought that person back and just had them refilm their scenes on a new set. I don't understand why that exists. Like, it's the same movie. If they'd have done something with it, like, okay, we're changing some aspects of it because it's now an American production, our ideals, our sensibilities are different. How would that affect like the overall plot? But it plays out the exact same way. Yeah, at least with like what they do with this American version, I said they did offer a literal new perspective because you have Raymond Burr's character, Steve Martin, offering his perspective on the destruction that Godzilla wrought. And that is, as little effort they actually put in, it does offer a new perspective, and it's an interesting way to watch that movie play out.
This is it, George. Steve Martin signing off from Tokyo, Japan.
Like there are differences between the Japanese version and the American version. The Japanese version, I'd argue, is superior because it's the original intent and vision, but there is something to be said about they added a new character, and we get that new character as like perspective on the action. I'm not saying it's better, I'm just saying it's interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a lot more interesting than just doing a straight-up remake. But
like shot for shot, right? Of just having the same characters in the same situation. They're just white now.
Yeah, it's just a little bit odd, right?
Yeah. And it's interesting, which is why we're covering it here on Fact Fiend. But remember I said, Lucas, that they had the actor scream for 24 hours straight. So, getting back to filming, the story goes that Burr was contracted for a single day of work. And you naturally assume that if they're only being contracted for a single day, that's not going to be a lot of work. And the entirety of production took 3 days. So, yeah, they slapped together the American version of Godzilla in 3 fucking days. 3 days.
That gives me a little bit less hope of the quality of this thing.
Well, I said they didn't actually need to put that much in. They needed, like, you know, the wraparound story and then a couple of insert shots of Burr. They realised that even though we're only filming for 3 days, we kind of need Burr for all 3 of those days.
He's in Tokyo, and Godzilla is destroying the city. It was only afterwards that I learned that in the Japanese version, you're not even in the movie.
And then an executive read through Burr's contract and noticed something. It didn't say that he'd come on to set for a full day's filming. It said that he would make himself available for one specific 24-hour period. And by the terms of that contract that he'd signed and could not get out of, he had to come in for 24 hours straight if they wanted him to. So realistically, they need him for 3 8-hour days. But 3 8-hour days is 24 hours. So they just made him come in and work for 24 hours straight.
We shot all of that movie, everything that I was in that movie, in a 24-hour period.
So they did 3 different days' worth of production in
1 day.
24 hours.
Yep. And Burr has confirmed this was the case. And when he got asked, like, so what did like the last 4 hours of filming look like after 20 hours straight of being awake? It's like, I spent most of it screaming because they needed audio to dub over of me being attacked by Godzilla. So he basically spent 24 hours straight screaming into a microphone that he was being attacked by Godzilla.
This is why we need labour laws, because people will just... Screw it, you've got 24 hours, you're working for 24 hours.
It's no wonder he just went and said, fuck it, I'm growing flowers. A nice, quiet pastime.
Obviously, you can't be screaming at the start of the day because you could have ruined your throat, but imagine being up for 20 hours and working the entire time, and then they go, so what we need you to do is just start screaming.
Just start screaming. I imagine you would do that after 20 hours straight. It's like that bit in The Simpsons where, Milhouse, we need to get that shot again. It's like, we got the shot.
But we already did it. It took 7 hours, but we did it.
But we got the shot. It's like, yes, but now we need to get it again and again and again. And he just runs out of the room screaming.
And again and again and again.
In the spirit of Raymond Burr just screaming in a sound booth for 24 hours fucking straight, let's talk about one of my favourite subjects that gets infrequently mentioned on Fact Fiend, and I love to bring up because I love all the examples that audience members give us, which is scream acting. So for anyone unfamiliar, scream acting is a term that I coined to just describe the act of screaming in a piece of media. And I think it is an underappreciated aspect of acting because it must be hell on the throat. And I think to all the interviews with voice actors and stuff where they often talk about how the efforts and the death sounds and the screams, that's the last day of filming a lot of the time because it wrecks your throat.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Am I good at screaming? I think I am good at screaming. I can scream for you.
Let me hear you.
And so in that vein, Lucas, any favourite examples of Scream acting? Let's just go for, like, big, bombastic action movies, because that's what the Godzilla franchise became. It's not what it started as, but what it eventually became.
There was one example that, I'm surprised that I don't think I've ever brought up.
Which is?
And obviously it's just an iconic, obvious one, but I don't think we've ever talked about the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, the Wilhelm scream, or I think the original name for it is man eaten by a crocodile. Is there? I think that's where it was. Yeah, it's a very storied part of film history. We've never done a fact theme video on it, even though I think it is quite interesting. I think I've wrote scripts about it years ago. But it does have a fascinating history, and apparently, as well, execs fucking hate it as an Easter egg. So whenever you hear it in a movie, it's probably the sound designer just having a laugh and try to slip it in. And sometimes they have to layer it with other sounds so it doesn't get caught and cut out. I think I think Infinity War is the last movie I noticed it in, where where Ebony Maw gets sucked out into space. You can distinctly hear the Wilhelm scream, but it's layered with another noise.
Your powers are inconsequential compared to mine.
Yeah, but the kid's seen more movies.
I've got to kind of agree with the execs at this point, because it is a funny little Easter egg, but it is distracting.
Yeah, it takes you straight out of the movie to the point where it's
it reminds you that you're just watching a film, right?
It's like when you hear that classic pot breaking noise or the audience crowd gasp that everybody uses, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does take you out of the movie, which is presumably why they start layering it with other noises. So it's more subtle, it's more hidden.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Wilhelm scream is an Easter egg at this point because it's so recognisable.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it gets to a point where it's just gone completely round on itself. It's just distractingly annoying at this point, but it's still iconic.
It is iconic, but it's overdone. And speaking of scream acting, let's talk about the big G himself, Godzilla. That iconic roar. I know it's not a person providing that noise. We talked about in a previous fact theme video, the original sound designer on the 1954 Godzilla, Akira Ifukube, spent ages trying to figure out what noise Godzilla would make. And they went to a zoo and recorded every single animal in the zoo and tried to mix them and change them around, and nothing sounded right. And they came to the realization that even if they took, one example is a heron's cry, and fucked it all the way up, on an instinctual level, you could tell that it was still a sound made by an animal, something natural. And they came to the conclusion that the sound Godzilla made had to be made by something unnatural, something mechanical. So it would instill that primal dread in you, that this is not a thing that should exist. And eventually it was created by, I believe it's a resin-covered glove being rubbed down a bass guitar that was undertuned.
It would be pretty incredible if it was just a guy screaming.
Well, there's a couple of examples of monsters that are just guys screaming. Usually it's Frank Welker. Screaming he's the dude who does all the lions from The Lion King and stuff like that. Or something
and the Theron Guard, of course.
Oh, Theron Guard, that's D. Bradley Baker, right?
Oh, no, yeah, that is.
That's D. Bradley Baker.
Get my voice actors confused, apologies.
No, I think it's an underappreciated aspect of voice acting and film work, right? Of just, someone's got to make those noises. And those noises are really difficult to get right. As evidenced by the fact it took, Akira Ifukube months to figure out what noise Godzilla should make. Like this primordial force of destruction that should not be.
Obviously, it's not a scream, but I love stories of Foley work, and I think in a similar vein, one of my favourite noises is the noise of the TARDIS, which I think was scraping a key down piano wires or something like that.
Yeah, I love when sound designers and Foley artists get really weird with it. I think too, speaking of scraping things, the Joker's theme from The Dark Knight, when Hans Zimmer was working on that, when you listen to the Joker's theme, I'll try and put as many clips in as I can, but I understand music, copyright, YouTube, not much we can do. But you realise that when the music was played, it didn't sound harsh enough. It didn't instill that sense of uneasiness in the audience. So what he had people do is not play it with a bow with horsehair on it. He got to play it with razor blades. So they're literally destroying the instruments as they play.
It took me most of the flight to listen to all of these different crazy experiments he'd done with razor blades on piano wire and pencils tapping tables and floors and things.
You might be asking yourself, why bother? The answer is that even if you don't notice it, it's still something that gets to you on this like primal level, this subconscious level almost. Where you listen to a Joker's theme, it is very unnerving because it doesn't sound like anything you've heard before. It sounds like the instruments are tearing themselves apart.
This is from the early experiments.
Which they are, and it's reflective of the Joker's mental state. And I love that in the sound mix for The Dark Knight. For example, Joe, during the interrogation scene, they layer in the Joker's theme as that interrogation builds to subtly hint at the fact that Batman is just not winning. The Joker is still in charge because his theme's the ones that are playing.
And there's another noise that has kind of become like a Wilhelm scream in the end. But, speaking of Christopher Nolan, I don't remember whether it's Inception or whether it's Mass Effect that did the noise first. The wow. Yeah.
I think that's more overdone. Even though it's not as common as the Wilhelm scream, it pisses me off more. Because at least the Wilhelm scream, it's just a little bit. And it's like, okay, that was fun, let's get on to the movie now. The wow, it demands your attention. It draws me out of the movie and makes me annoyed.
Just so many years of trailers having that wow in like every single thing.
It's overused. I get the idea of why it's using Christopher Nolan's work. Like it's there for emphasis. But if you use it every time, you're no longer emphasising something.